killing the red carpets, killing the concerts.
Find what your purpose is and chase it and work hard at it.
Come on now, let's go. Hello, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, uncle and aunties, boys and girls, nieces and nephews, male and female, he and she, they and them, and the future people. Everybody, welcome to HD. Of course, the original is in high definition, but no, that's not what this is about. It's not high definition, it's Hero's Diary. So Hero's Diary, this is the show where we get to celebrate the hero's journey. People who have made it from nothing to something, who've come from underprivileged background, from less privileged background, from underachieved background, from discriminated background, from racism, whatever. They've experienced all sorts, but have done so much for themselves and overcome and triumphed above obstacles, above challenges, above difficulties and whatever, to become something of themselves. So we document the journey of successful people who've made this track, who've made this journey, and sometimes who are also in the journey, you know? So today, it's a bit hard. But then, first of all, my name is Keni Ogunlola, whichever way you chose to call me, it's all good. But hey, welcome to Hero's Diary. All right, now let's talk about who I've got in house today. I've got a really intelligent, beautiful young lady who's killing it in broadcast, journalism, presenting, killing the red carpets, killing the concerts, speaking to baddest, biggest superstars on the runway and the red carpet and concerts, and then getting them to really say or talk about their journey and talk about stuff that they all do as well. This is why we brought her on the show today, so that we can get a piece of her. Noma Nomss. What's up, girl?
Hi.
Whoa, come on. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
All right, looking all flashy and...
I had to come through looking like a little snack.
Wow, boy, you look like proper on it.
No, do you know what? I knew you were going to come through looking drippy, so I had to try and match your energy, and it's not easy, you know.
I'm
doing
just...
jewels, diamonds.
No, forget that.
I had to try and match in my own little way, or at least be halfway.
Nah, they say I'm turtleneck, so I decided to go low. Go low. Give them the V-neck kind of thing.
I hear it.
No turtleneck today, but just keep it simple. But you're looking absolutely gorgeous.
I couldn't come and embarrass you on your platform, you know.
Nah, you're not embarrassing. You're over-representing, man. So what's it been? How's it been, like, the whole journey for you, man? What's up?
I've been good. We're still hustling, still trying to figure it out, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I think maybe in life you never do. You're still always trying to figure it out, even in your 60s, I think.
Are you in your 60s now?
No.
Near 60s?
No, absolutely not.
In
my 20s. Enjoying my 20s, but nearing the 3-0. Nearing the 3-0. But I look forward to it, though. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're not even 30 yet?
No,
and yet you're doing all this amazing stuff, which I'm sure we're showing on the screens right now, and then people are seeing. You've been with some of the biggest names in especially in music industry, African music industry, specifically Afrobeat, if you want to be a bit more, but not just Afrobeat. I know I've seen you with people beyond the Afrobeat cycle, and interviewing all these guys and being on concerts, backgrounds with them, talking to them. Don't you feel intimidated?
No.
Why not?
No, which is really interesting, actually, because I think I've met and hung out with some of the biggest names in the game, but I don't feel intimidated. I think I'm just curious. I'll be intimidated the day I meet Jesus Christ, but other than that, I don't think I'm fazed. And maybe Oprah. Oprah might be somebody who would intimidate me, and Barack Obama. But other than that, I think I'm just curious and would really want to know the person behind the person that we see, the person behind the movie looking, the big jewels and the looking gorgeous and the entourage and the money and the fame and the millions of followers. I think I'm just curious to know really and truly what's behind the person, what motivates the person, what scares the person, how they got to where they are, just like you do. So I think because of that, I just see another person, really. So no, I'm not intimidated.
Wow, that's super, super awesome. But tell us about how you started, babe. So you are from No, and sometimes some people talking about like heritage, origin, where you're from, but you're happy to talk about that. Like, where you from?
Yeah, of course.
What's the background? Where you from? Where you come from? Let's get to know about that.
Proudly was born in Zimbabwe.
Come on, Zims to my Zims.
Half Shona, half Ndebele. And yeah, I was born there, raised there for 12 years before I came to London. And then, from then on, it was just, I think I was just always curious. I was thinking about this the other day, actually, and I realized whenever I would buy a magazine, so I was that girl that always had a magazine reading, whether it was the Sun newspaper, and I think the Sun every single Sunday had a magazine that would be inside. I don't know if they still do it now, or if it was Vogue. I would always skip through and go to the interview page. Whoever was on the page of that magazine or the cover of that magazine, I would always be interested to see who are they interviewing and what are they talking about. And then from then on, if we really take it back, I was a media student, and how I got introduced into entertainment was starting in radio when I was about 19 or so. And with that radio station, we were literally only on radio for about 6 months.
Right.
And then we got kicked off because we were too controversial. We were saying things that were controversial and maybe things we shouldn't have been saying on radio, or there was just a lot of limitations with what you can say, what you can talk about, how you can say it, and you were not really given the freedom of expression. So then from then on, it just kind of started my interest in journalism, in telling stories really, and entertainment.
Oops. Okay, cool. But before then, what about your life in Zimbabwe? What was that like? Do you remember that? It was just 12 years, but what was that 12 years like for you?
It was amazing. I left before all the craziness and the 2008.
What craziness?
When everything just went down, when my country just went downhill, with Mugabe and the crisis that we had in inflation. But I had a great childhood, very loving childhood, very fun childhood, as most people would attest. I say most, but some people would attest. When you grow up in Zimbabwe, it's not just about your immediate family, but it's extended. So I am very much a child of a village. I was raised by a loving village of aunties and uncles, mom, grandparents. So I am very much a child of not just one hand, but many, and many loving hearts. But no, I loved Zim. School in Zim was incredible. I had the best time. I had the best childhood. It was always fun.
Listen, village in Africa has a very strong connotation and a very strong impression of what it is. What's life like in the village? What are the things you did that contrasting to what you're doing now or where you are now? You're like, you can't even believe you did.
Did I say village?
A few times.
Did I? I don't know. Did I say that? Anyway, if I did, that was a mistake. No, I grew up in the city. I'm very much I'm a city girl. I've always grown up in the city. I did visit the village 1 or 2 times.
Okay.
But no, I'm absolutely not a village babe. I did, so the 1 or 2 times I went to the village, I actually have a quick funny story for you.
Okay, go for it.
So my uncle would take us to the village here and there. And the one time that I went, he was like, do you want to milk a cow? Because he had loads of cows and do you breed cows? Is that a word? Yeah, he bred cows. So, there's loads of them. He was like, okay, this is how you do it. And he showed me how to milk a cow, and I milked a cow. But anyway, I digress. I was born, raised in the city, and that's how I grew up.
Okay, so coming to the UK now, and life in Zimbabwe, life in the UK, life in Zimbabwe as a 12-year-old, getting to the UK, and then another maybe, 12, 15, 30... 18 years later on, what difference have you been able to make out of that, and then that's led you onto this journey of presenting?
I think really after the radio, what really kickstarted it was me starting my own podcast, the Dreams and Money podcast. And on that podcast, it was almost essentially the sort of platform you have now, where I spoke to people, young men and young women who were running big businesses, essentially, some of them running 6 or 7 figure businesses. And my focus was Black minorities. And from them, I learned so much. I grew as a journalist. I grew as a storyteller. I was, I guess producing everything. I was writing the script. I was the one making sure that when I was recording, everything's on point. The sound is on point. After that, I'm doing the post editing, everything of that. So it taught me quite a lot. But it really helped me grow as a storyteller and in short, and growing my skills in terms of how do you create something that's an hour, but essentially tell a story that people want to listen to, that people will be inspired by, that people understand, and people can take something away from that one episode, whether it's 35 minutes, whether it's 20 minutes, or whether it's an hour. And I think really from there, just the messages I would receive from people just saying, Noma, that episode was incredible, or that person that came on your podcast, that guest, they've inspired me, or they've made me want to go and start my own business, or they've made me start a new hobby, or they've made me start investing. I got so many of those messages, and I thought, do you know what, this was worth doing, despite all the time and energy and money I'm investing and getting nothing in return. It was worth doing, and then it just kind of spiraled from there, really.
Oh, good. Amazing stuff. But in getting all these artists and speaking to them, getting to concerts, getting artists to talk to you, has there been any challenges, especially being a woman?
Oh, well. Well.
What challenges?
Let me say my drink. I think a lot of women would attest to the fact that it's not easy being in the entertainment industry, especially when you're just starting out. You're trying to figure out how to maneuver, how to build relationships with people, and sometimes men, in a way that is beneficial, in a way that's professional, and in a way where you're building long-term relationships. And there's really no one to teach you, unless you're lucky enough to have other women who've gone before you and teach you the ropes, or connect you to somebody else. You're on your own. You have to figure it out on your own. And I think for me, some of the challenges have been around...
Around what?
How honest can I be?
No, just let it go. That's what we want to know. We want to know what you got to say.
I think sometimes men, especially in this industry, I find that they are very much in control. There's a lot more men in control of things than women are. In terms of they are the ones who either hold certain contracts, or they have the power of the yes that you need in order to go forward, or in order for you to just simply interview somebody, or in order for you to get backstage and be able to just have that 5-minute conversation with an artist. So it's really just that challenge of making sure that people are not taking advantage of you, or you do get inappropriate advances sometimes where you thought this conversation was professional, and after the fact they're like, let's go for a drink, and the way they ask you out for that drink is not professional, essentially, or it's maybe them wanting to get to know you better, which I mean is fine. It's going to happen in any industry anyway. But it's just just maneuvering that really can be a challenge, and just making sure that you're professional at all times, but also being taken seriously too.
Yeah, but you're young, beautiful.
Yeah. In
this entertainment business.
Yeah.
You're not going to run away from that. That's definitely going to come with the terrain.
Yeah. I mean,
how are you going to handle that then? How are you going to handle? Because definitely there'll be men coming at you, trying to get you to do stuff, and sometimes, like you rightly said, you would think it's something normal, it's just normal business. But they got other intentions. How are you going to maneuver that to make sure that you still get what you want, and then still,
No, I think over time you learn to discern with the way people move, or with the way people approach you, and just to be very stern and to be very always professional from the onset, and just how you handle yourself. Unfortunately, a lot of it ends up falling on you, on how you handle, how you approach people, how you react to certain things or comments or anything like that. But it's part of the game. I think something else as well is people wanting you to do things for free, which is like, in this economy, sir, pay me, okay? I think trying to pay me for my talents or my effort and energy in exposure is not going to fly in this day and age. Please, there's cost of living crisis. Pay me, pay me.
Pay me the money.
You know,
all right, listen. Tell us about a time when you have walked away from something that you really wanted to do, but you didn't. You walked away from it because the person was making advances at you that you didn't like.
I think luckily enough I've not had that. I think it's just something I've witnessed, but early on I realized, okay, you just have to be careful with the way people are around you. I think the only thing that I've walked away from are opportunities that I felt like didn't align with my personal brand, or being approached to, let's say, appear on certain platforms, and then having looked at the platforms, realizing actually the kind of content they produce or the kind of conversations they have don't align with who I am as a person, my personal brand, and what I want to represent. So when it comes to that, I'm happy to say no, because I don't think every opportunity is a good opportunity. And not every, what's the saying? Something about not every PR is good PR.
It's good PR, yeah. Well, actually, the right saying is all PR is good PR.
Do you know, I don't know, because when it comes to like your reputation and how you want to present yourself, and especially when you're in the building stage,
right.
I think for me it's important to just be careful with who I align myself with, and the platforms I'm on, and the conversations I'm having. Like, not to get deep or anything, but I was watching a sermon the other day, or someone was talking on a podcast, and they said, God will hold you accountable for every word that you say.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, especially whether you have a 200 people following or 2 million people following, your words have impact. Right. And I know I've seen some things in the same way I'm bringing up this conversation now. The things that we say hold impact, and I'll hold my hands up and say there's been certain times, I'll say something just because it's entertainment. You say things just for the effect or to create conversation or controversy. But I think going forward, and as I grow older, I'm like, I want to look back at everything I produce and put online and be proud of it. I don't want to be that person that's looking at it and cringing. Or maybe my daughter one day looks at something I've posted online and she's like, oh, or is questioning me, or my mom is questioning me, like, why would you say something like that, or, So it's just, being careful about what you
got
put
a
out
daughter.
there.
Thanks for chipping that in. So you got a daughter, yeah?
Sorry?
You got a daughter?
No, I'm saying in the future. Not yet. Soon to be.
You actually did say, like, you've got it.
Yeah.
But are you in a relationship?
No, I am single. I'm happily single.
How long have you been single?
Okay, I'll say from my last relationship, because I've dated, but from my last relationship.
When was your last relationship?
A year.
A year ago?
Yeah.
You've been single for a year?
Yeah.
Wow.
I've not been in a relationship since then.
What's happening to all the men in town?
Listen, the streets are cold, number one. Number two, I think in that year, there's been a lot that's happened that's changed me. And I think people usually say, oh, the person I was last year is not the same me. But I can genuinely say the person I was last year is not the same me now. And I've just been on a personal journey of growth, especially when it comes to my faith, especially when it comes to my relationship with Christ, and just being intentional about growth and healing as well. I realized, sis, you need to heal. You need to figure yourself out first before you're trying to
heal from what?
Life experiences. Maybe heal from disappointments in the past, or maybe mini heartbreaks, potentially childhood traumas that I may still have and don't realize that are affecting me as an adult, me as a woman, and how I conduct myself, and how that affects the people I'm in relationships with. So that's been my focus, really, especially within this entire year, really. The whole 2023, that's been my focus, just growing and becoming better before I'm ready to get back out there and start dating seriously again.
So it's, you sort of put a hold on dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a deliberate thing.
Yes, right now it's absolutely a deliberate thing.
Do you meet people that you actually really like, but because you've got this hold on and you say no?
Yeah, right now. I think right now when I do get approached, I'm like, oh no, thank you. Whereas in the past, if I found the person attractive, I'm like, oh, okay, sure, maybe have my number. But
Wow.
now it's like, oh no, thank you.
I don't have a number.
I mean, I have a number, but you don't. It's just going to be a waste of your time and my time. So let me not waste your time and my time.
But what's the goal? What's the goal? Why are you doing that?
Just
where are you going with all of this?
That's a good question. Just to know myself better and to genuinely heal and to become a better woman. Because I realized, like, sis, you're doing a lot. There was a point where I was like, okay, you're doing a lot, or I don't know where I'm going or what I'm doing. I'm just doing things for the sake of doing them.
Right.
So I had to, take a step back, reevaluate, figure yourself out. Who do you want to be? Where do you want to be? And just growing towards the woman I want to be first. And then we can figure out the rest later. And, and a part of that is really just me focusing on my podcast, me focusing on my career, and me focusing on me and loving on me. Like, I'm
okay.
fun.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. But when you find out that you have to relax and you have to do fun stuff, so what's fun stuff for you now if there's no others?
What's fun for me? Working is fun. I know that sounds like so cliche, but I genuinely find so much joy in the work that I create, in the show that I've been producing at the moment called Drinks with Noms. And hanging out with family, hanging out with friends, going out to eat. I love to eat. I know I don't look like I love to eat, but I love good food. Like, that's my love language.
Okay. That's a tip right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So, for them boys.
Notebook. Take
them
a notebook
boys.
out. What else do I love to do? I think that's what I love to do. Just hang out with me, hang out with my family, friends, and attend concerts, be, up and about the music industry, just enjoying myself.
So with the career then, with the presenting and interviewing and journalism and broadcasting, and is that just a hobby? Is it a passion, or is it a career?
All three. All three in one. Started off years ago as a hobby and a passion, and it grew into my career. When I started 3-4 years ago, when I actually started my podcast, I was just doing it because I felt like I just had to get it out there. I don't know how else to explain it, but it was just an idea that I could not rest. Sometimes I literally couldn't sleep because all I had was ideas of the type of conversations I wanted to have, who I wanted to have on the podcast. And it was like, until I birthed that idea, my mind could rest. So from then, it just grew into, honestly, a career that maybe I didn't even ask for, but accidentally stumbled into on purpose. By purpose and by God, I think.
What's difficult in your life right now?
Oh, what is difficult in my life right now? Probably family-related things that I can't share.
Okay.
But not things that are out of God's control.
Right.
So I think right now, God is good to me. I'm happy.
No, that's beautiful. I like the fact that what's difficult in your life right now is family-related stuff. That says a lot about you, about what your priorities are and what matters to you.
Yeah.
I was expecting you would say stuff in the line of your work or your challenges, a financial situation and stuff like that.
No, I think with my career right now, I trust God to have it under control and to lead me to where I need to be. So far, He's led me this far and it's going great. Of course, to me, it feels like this is just the beginning. So I don't think it's difficult per se. I think it's just me trying to figure it out and maneuvering, like I said at the beginning, maneuvering what the next steps are and walking into my purpose on purpose is my focus.
What's your opinion on marriage? Are you going to get married?
Yes, I'd love to. I want to get married. I'm for it. I think right now we're just so... Everybody's down bad, especially in London. The dating scene is cold and everybody's like, I don't know if that's the future, but I definitely want to get married. I think it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So,
and you're going to have children?
Yeah.
How many kids are you going to have?
Oh, I don't know. We'll leave that one to God and my future husband. We'll see. We'll see about
We're
that
talking
one.
about your future husband.
Definitely a couple.
What does he look like? Who's your future husband?
I don't know what he looks like, but
You
I
tell
know
us.
the kind
What's
of man
your
that he
ideal?
is.
What's your ideal of
my
your future husband?
ideal? Someone who is, again, cliche, but someone who is
Tall, dark, and handsome
absolutely
with a lot of money.
Absolutely, yes.
Fucking hell.
Tall, dark, and handsome, with a bit of money, God-fearing, and someone who is genuinely loving and genuine in their heart. Because a lot of people are a bit shady. They're a bit shady. So that's what I'm looking for. But we do love a good dark-skinned man. I mean, I don't discriminate, but dark-skinned men, we appreciate you.
Come on now. Right. Yeah. But then coming back to your career, you're happy where you are now, right now?
I'm happy where I am, but there's a lot more to be done.
Okay.
There's a lot more to be done. So much more to be done.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what's coming, what God has in store for me. I'm excited to continue to create, to produce, and to tell stories that are life-changing, tell stories that are inspiring, tell stories that are touching to the heart, and stories that are beautiful, because I think everyone has a beautiful story to tell, the story of their lives, and I just want to be a vessel to tell those stories to the world.
Are you known in Zimbabwe?
No,
Well, okay.
I don't think so.
Would you love to
Maybe
be?
a little bit. I don't know if my goal is to be known. I think
In Zimbabwe.
the goal is for my work to speak to who it needs to speak to, or to reach the people that it needs to reach through those stories.
Who are the people you want to reach?
Whoever needs to hear it. So if I was talking to you...
Not if we're going to talk geographically now, who are the people you would like to... Who are your
reach?
first, second, third audiences?
Oh, I think the UK would be my first audience.
Right.
My second audience would be in Africa. The whole of Africa. That's my audience. Entire Africa, from the top to the bottom. Southern Africa, Zimbabwe, South Africa, Western Africa, Nigeria, Ghana, Benin, East Africa, so Uganda, Somalia to the north, and the rest of the world.
So if you be identified now as what? Zimbabwean, British, or British artist?
Definitely Zimbabwean. I mean, you can take the girl out of Zimbabwe, but you cannot take the Zimbabwe out of the girl. I think that really made me. Zimbabwe made me. It made me who I am, how I am, my mannerisms, the way I talk, the way I just do life. And I think I definitely got a lot of that from my Zimbabwean heritage, my ancestors, and just who I am. You know, I don't think I could erase that. And no amount of Britishness or Londonness could overshadow that.
Who are your heroes? Who are the people that made you feel like you want to get into doing this? Who are these people that you see that every day you just see that this is me?
People I looked up to growing up. Oprah Winfrey for sure.
Right.
She is the GOAT when it comes to journalism, when it comes to storytelling. Who else did I look up to? I think recently, this is a funny one, but I think recently I've been calling myself a mix of Oprah Winfrey and Carisha from City Girls. So
Right.
I'm like a middle of the two of them.
Okay.
So Oprah Winfrey was definitely my hero, not just for her journalism work, but for the work that she's done for young women, especially when it comes to opening a school in South Africa. I mean, that move for me was really what defined her as a GOAT, as someone to look up to, as a hero.
Right. So there's your camera now. You're talking to that young girl, specifically, that young girl in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
Given everything you've experienced, living in Zimbabwe at 12 years old and whatever else there is going on right there now, what are
Yeah.
you going to say to that girl in order to achieve whatever her dreams are?
What her dreams are. Oh. Be focused. When it comes to your dreams, chase them each and every day. Do not give it a break. And find what will satisfy your purpose. Find what your purpose is and do that and just work hard at it. I think that is the key to success and the key to joy as well.
But what if she doesn't have the kind of opportunity you have to come to the UK, for example?
I think for me, whether I was in Zimbabwe still or whether in the UK, I would still be doing what I want to do right now, which is telling stories, producing, and creating content, I guess others would call it, and journalism. I will still be doing that. So whether you place me in Afghanistan, Zimbabwe, Nairobi, Malawi, where else, Japan, I will still want to do what I do today. Hence why I said, find what your purpose is and chase it and work hard at it. Yeah, because I think your purpose will always be somewhere deep down. You know what it is. You know what you want to do. You know what satisfies you within your soul.
I guess the question, to be more straightforward and to round up with that, is that do you actually think that girl in Zimbabwe, that little girl who has these dreams to conquer the world,
yeah,
is it possible?
Absolutely. Absolutely, it's possible. I mean, we're in a modern day now. A lot of people have iPhones. I mean, I was in Zimbabwe 3 months ago, and a lot of young women have, smartphones. A smartphone these days is the key to a lot of things. We've got people on TikTok who are creating content and blowing up with millions of followers and creating careers simply from producing videos on their phones or whatever it is they want to do. Understandably, of course, there are some careers that have roadblocks, but where there's a will, there's a way, and there's always a way. There is always a way, I believe.
There's always a way. Noma Nomss. Thank you so very much. Listen,
thank you for having me.
Thank you for bringing your shine, your beauty, your intelligence, and your whatever else there is to the show. Really appreciate. I know you're on your journey as well. You're conquering still, and I have no doubt that you will conquer still many more.
Amen.
You will, won't you?
Absolutely. Watch this space. So make sure you're keeping a lookout, watching out for your girl. I've definitely got a lot more exciting content, exciting conversations, exciting stories, amazing stories to tell and to showcase to the world.
That's it. Thank you very much for coming in, and thank you also for watching as always. It's Hero's Diary, where we celebrate hero's journey, celebrate people's stories, celebrate people's journey, people's obstacles, people's challenges, and all that kind of stuff. How they achieved it, how they overcome it. And they always do, because we're black, we're Africans. We will always find a way. See ya.